We haven't had a big storm like this in a while, and we have been preparing for this. We're very concerned about the cold. And the cold weather like this mixed with precipitation puts people in a lot of danger. Being outside in weather like this, somebody could die. Okay, if you're outside and you're sleeping outside, so we gotta get people in. So
this is not a routine winter storm. This is a sprawling, days-long system stretching coast to coast, and it's already shutting down cities. From Arctic air in the Midwest to crippling ice in the South and heavy snow in the Northeast, more than 170 million Americans are now in its path. Officials warned the damage could rival a hurricane, with power, travel, and safety all at risk. The first strike came from the north. Arctic air spilling out of Canada plunged temperatures across the Midwest, forcing school closures in cities like Chicago and making it dangerous to be outside for more than minutes at a time. Wind chills dropped toward -40, cold enough for frostbite to set in almost instantly. For millions, the storm began before a single snowflake fell. As the cold air settled in, the next phase rolled out of the southwest. Ice, sleet, and freezing rain pushed into Texas and Oklahoma, regions especially vulnerable to power failures. Road crews rushed to pre-tree highways. State troopers canceled days off. Utility companies activated emergency plans, knowing ice, not snow, is the real grid killer. Ice adds weight fast, hundreds of pounds on trees and power lines. Once it snaps, the danger doesn't end. Lines can keep falling days after the storm passes. In much of the South, electricity is the primary source of heat. Officials are keenly aware of what's at stake, memories still fresh from past cold snaps that left millions without power. Air travel began unraveling almost immediately. Thousands of flights were delayed or canceled, with major hubs like Dallas and Atlanta hit hardest. As the storm marches east, forecasters warned snow totals near a foot could shut down travel from Washington, D.C. through New York and Boston. Roads, rails, and runways all vulnerable at once. Emergency declarations are spreading. Boston called a cold emergency. Washington, D.C. activated the National Guard for vehicle support. New York City prepared what its mayor called the nation's largest snow fighting operation. Warming centers opened as unhoused residents searched for shelter. For many, this storm isn't an inconvenience, it's a survival test.
So by now, people have heard about the significant winter storm that is headed our way. These are our expectations. Our team is briefed by the National Weather Service regularly so that we can be prepared for any changes in the forecast or conditions. We expect snow to begin Saturday evening. It will continue throughout the night and into the day on Sunday and possibly into Monday. This will be the largest snowfall we've seen in a long time. Current projections have at least 9 inches of snow falling with the potential for more. There is a possibility of freezing rain overnight Sunday into Monday, which will increase hazardous conditions. So at the same time, we're also headed into a very cold week. On Monday night into Tuesday morning, we are expecting wind chills to be below 0. So to make sure we have all the resources we need to respond, I am declaring a state of emergency in the District of Columbia, effective now. We are also requesting vehicle support from the DC National Guard to ensure our first responders are able to move around the city during the storm. And that request has been made. We're also out today to spread the word to the public to get prepared and be prepared. We need you to get inside, We have our outreach teams out all week getting people into shelter. And let me be clear, we have space for everyone. And this is seriously dangerous conditions for people to be outside. We haven't had a big storm like this in a while, and we have been preparing for this. We're very concerned about the cold. And the cold weather like this mixed with precipitation puts people in a lot of danger. Being outside in weather like this, somebody could die. Okay, if you're outside and you're sleeping outside, so we gotta get people in. So, well, I think the overall message is if you don't need to be out during the active snowfall and immediately thereafter, to stay inside, and that's most of us. There are people who have to get to their jobs at hospitals and at grocery stores and senior facilities. So there are people who need to be moving and others that could spend a Sunday at home. And so we would recommend that.
Good morning, New York City. This is the calm before the storm. Either late tomorrow evening or early Sunday morning, we are going to see snow start to begin to fall across our city. It will fall and then fall some more. And the forecasts don't always get it right, but what is being predicted right now, whether it's a foot of snow or even a little bit more, would be one of the biggest snowfalls that our city has seen in years. We haven't seen a foot of snowfall in quick succession since nearly 5 years ago. This weekend is going to be cold, it is going to be windy, and above all else, it is going to be a weekend where your city is prepared. Across every single level of government, we are working together to ensure that our streets are being kept clear, that New Yorkers are safeguarded, and that the most vulnerable among us are being connected with shelter.
Even after the snow and ice stop falling, the danger remains. Bitter cold is expected to linger for days, slowing recovery and complicating repairs. Downed lines, frozen pipes, dark homes. The aftermath could stretch well beyond the weekend. Forecasters are clear. This is not a quick hit. It's a siege.
So I'm here to say this is a very dangerous combination of heavy snow and extreme cold temperatures. And the risks are so intense that as I'm standing here right now, I'm declaring a state of emergency throughout the entire state of New York. And what that'll allow us to do is to coordinate more closely with local governments, deploy state resources into municipalities without the lag of time required. What am I worried about? Frostbite. Frostbite can set in literally within 5 minutes of exposure, as well as hypothermia. So the symptoms of hypothermia are poor coordination, slurred speech, exhaustion, shivering. Let's first of all try to prevent being in this situation, but if you must be outside and you're with other people, pay attention to those signs because that means they're experiencing a serious health event. If you have to go out, load up your vehicle. Your vehicle can save your life if you get stranded. What you need, already pre-charge your cell phones, right? You want to make sure your cell phone does not lose power if you're stranded in the car. Food, water, extra blankets, flashlight. And this, as I mentioned yesterday, a pro tip, cat litter, throw it in the trunk with a small shovel. If you go off the road, you need the traction, you throw it on the snow, allows your vehicles to get the tractions, and you might be able to save yourself out of a ditch. I speak from experience. And make sure your home is ready as well. Protect your pipes from freezing. Use space heaters and fireplaces safely. Utility workers are on standby to respond to outages wherever they occur, so we can get your power and your heat on immediately or as soon as humanly possible. Also, our human services agencies are stepping forward to protect vulnerable New Yorkers, those who are unsheltered. We have to get people indoors, and we're working closely with Code Blue and working with our local county governments on that issue as well. Hunker down, change your habits, try to minimize your time outside. And I want to say this, I am so grateful to all the workers who have to be outdoors, whether they're working at the DOT or the Thruway Authority or the first responders who are out there doing everything they can to protect us, the nurses and healthcare personnel who have to keep showing up at their jobs. Let them know we appreciate them. Not everybody has the luxury of camping out, and not that they be watching any football this weekend, I will not be, but those who want to watch football or do whatever they're going to be doing this weekend is a gift. Stay warm, stay safe, but let's always be grateful for those who are literally putting themselves out there in extreme temperatures to keep the rest of us safe.